Name drop.
Everyone loves an uncle. We got Uncle Sam, we got Uncle Tom, my Uncle Mike, and ladies and gentlemen, Uncle Dave Macon.
Sorry.
And then Uncle Kracker.
Uncle Kracker.
Man, woman, and child, Uncle Kracker.
I flew back to Detroit like a couple weeks ago.
Born and raised?
Born and raised, but I don't live there no more.
Wait, we got a Detroit. First of all, we haven't even dinged yet. These bells right here, for every time you name drop, it could be your city, it could be your brother.
How do people
it?
refer to you though? Like if
Matt?
we're hanging, is it Matt or Uncle?
Yep, Matt.
So if they don't know you, is it like Kracker?
Yep. Kracker.
Well, the thing is, your story. I mean, we go way back to Uncle Kracker days, or just Kracker days, right?
Fuck this.
Because your
bell.
DJ name was just Kracker, wasn't it?
Yes.
And you had to change it because there was already a band Kracker.
Yeah, there's already a band called Kracker. So when I got my record deal at Atlantic, they were like, we got to put something before it or after it. They checked with legal department, right?
Yeah.
So to make it legitimate, it was either like put something before Kracker, like because they were gonna call me DJ Kracker, and I was like, well, I'm not putting out no mixtapes or nothing. Like, why would I do that? And so we had to put something before. Other than that, it was gonna be Kracker featuring Matt Shafer. Would be like my first album, like no way, man.
Well, what's your middle name?
Wow, Linford.
Linford?
In those
Matthew
days,
Linford?
In those days,
Kracker?
it would have been fun to call you Little, right? Little Kracker?
Yeah,
So Matthew
I was
Little
never really
Kracker.
little. I've always been fat.
Wait, so we got so many names here. So we got Matthew, Linford, Kracker, Shafer. So Kracker, that'd be great if it was your actual last name.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on right now. I got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Like I got a coffee over here I can't touch. I got a bell between my legs.
We know that. Well, that's what you want to call it.
Okay.
But
It don't matter. Nobody rings this thing anyway.
So
We're old now. We turned 50. That bell don't ring anymore.
happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
D-Day.
Thank
was
you.
Your birthday, 50 years old. Oh my God.
Big half a century.
And
How old are you?
Older than that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you don't look it.
I know.
Does everything
He
hurt?
does.
What?
How old are you?
35. No, I'm not. How old do I turn tomorrow?
47.
No. Oh my God.
47? That's it?
No, 48.
Show off over here.
48.
God, I remember my
52
47.
years ago. So.
Looks
Yeah.
like he just crawled out of the gym.
Yeah.
Too.
You guys.
Not even crawled.
You guys
Looks like
hating
he
on
like
me?
swung
He
out
put
of there.
sun in his hair, so we were talking about yesterday.
I haven't heard that in so long.
Sun in? Oh,
We were just talking about sun in yesterday.
oh my God.
I was like, remember that?
Yeah.
I used to surf back in the day. I'd go out to the beach.
I mean,
I'd
you think about
sun
the
in
frosted tips are gone. All right, so
The original
speaking
frosted
of
tips.
frosted tips, we met. I want to say it was the K-Rock Lodo show in 1998, and in New York City. You were with Kid Rock.
4 scores and 7 years
You were
ago.
with the band you were in. Kid Rock's band was.
Yep. Twisted Brown Trucker.
There we go. That deserves a ding. And we were at the K-Rock Lodo show where you could see Kid Rock, Uncle Kracker, and the rest of the band for 92 cents. And that's where we met. And I met you with Joe C.
Oh, yeah, Joe C.
R.I.P. Joe C.
Miss him.
How did you and Rock get involved? I mean, was you guys DJing together or what?
No, I met him. Well, it was at like one of those DJ. It was like a battle competition
In
thing.
Detroit?
Yeah,
Totally 8 Mile kind of stuff.
it was, but a lot whiter.
Yeah.
It was like.
Shout out to White.
Shout out to
Shout out to white people.
It was like there was a bar that the R&B station there was called WJLB,
Oh, yeah.
and there was a DJ there. His name was the Electrifying Mojo.
Oh,
Oh,
I
this is
just
getting-
like that name,
Yeah.
the Electrifying Mojo.
Oh, and he had the whole routine. Like when I was a kid, at nighttime, he would land the mothership. So if you had the stereo on at night, in your room, it'd just be like the mothership would land, and he'd be like, "You are now listening to the Electrifying Mojo," and he'd have this big. He had his own intro. Like this guy was like he was doing it back then even. But so there was a bar called Daytona's, and it was and they turned it into a teen club on Sunday nights. It
was a great time.
Metro Detroit area. And I was probably 13, and they had this DJ battle competition thing that he hosted. And I remember like my brother and my brother's buddy taking me down to this battle, and my brother had brought all his own turntables and stuff. Everybody had to bring their own.
So he
stuff.
was like somebody you looked up to.
My
His
brother?
older brother, like he just was a DJ.
I mean, ish, I guess. I did always look up. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you why now, but I did.
Yeah.
And but so we get there, this battle competition thing, and Kid Rock, who we've never met, was there, who didn't bring his own turntables, but then like paid my brother $100 to use his turntables, and then like smoked them on his own tables. Like because he was a
DJ.
He was phenomenal when he was a little kid. 16 he was, I think, at the time, and but he was just badass on the turntables and just cocky too. Just hoo-wee.
Is there anything he can't do?
Well, yeah.
Because he plays everything.
So did he introduce you to?
Oh, that's it. Yeah, he does go around.
instrument-wise.
He doesn't like.
Wait, so
I
did
play.
he introduce you to Bob, aka Kid Rock? Was that time?
That was when I met him.
Was that day when you were 13 years old?
Do we all do it, or we just
Yeah,
one
no,
of
we
us?
can,
Whoever.
yeah, we can. Anyone.
We'll put it in post anyway.
A lot of this. Is
Sorry,
getting
just
cut.
kidding, Monta. I'm sorry, woman of a certain
that your
age.
name?
That's
Monta?
woman.
Woman of a
Monta.
certain
Yeah.
age.
Her. It's short for Lamont. Grandpa
Lamont.
Lamont. She was named after her grandpa Lamont.
Like Lamont Sanford.
Yeah.
I thought it was short for Mount Vesuvius.
Yes.
It is.
All right,
Actually,
that
yeah,
makes more
was
sense.
Long time, like, right? Your family lived there.
Yeah.
No.
From there, they were
Anyway,
all
so we're
indigenous
talking to the
the
fourth
mountain.
wall, which is Monta,
Where
who is our
even is
producer,
that?
aka woman of a
I don't
certain
even
age.
know.
So
It's where all her family
Let's
still is.
let's
Of
get
the
back to Kid
Caucasus
Rock here.
Mountains.
So you met Kid Rock when you were 13, or
Yes.
a little older?
13.
At 13.
At that club. That night
Yeah,
is when
he
I
was
met
just
him.
like a rapper at that time, right?
DJ,
Were you-
rapper.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
rapper, DJ. Met him there, and he won like this competition. He and my brother became buddies
Mm-hmm.
that night after everybody having met, and they hung out, and then they ended up falling out over something weird, and I don't know. So he and I just became best friends then. Like
Probably over Pokemon cards.
I went.
So you and Bob became like really close from that point on.
Yeah.
And then.
Yep.
So I mean, you were trying to be a DJ, but you also, I mean, you're a talented songwriter.
Well, I was like 13 at the time. I was a rapper
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
time too.
Rapper.
Did you go by Kracker?
So
back
anybody
then?
like that was like in like near you or like that was interested in it was
Yeah.
like we should be boys, you know?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So it was one of those we all bonded over
Yeah, yeah.
like.
Did you have a
Coogee Rap
crew
and
of like
Polo.
30 that you rolled around with all the time, and they all like somebody was like a little pump or a little like
We
whatever?
acted like we had 30 of us,
Yeah.
right?
But you'd have one guy that just kept going back in and coming back out the door. Oh, there's another one.
So when Rock was putting together his band,
Yeah.
he called you up and said, "I need a DJ." And
Yeah. So fast forward, I get a couple years, and yes, he was he found out fast like they weren't booking rappers. You needed a band, so he put the band together, and then I was like this I could DJ a little. I don't know why I just lied just now. I couldn't DJ at the time.
so you were faking it. He's like, "I'm gonna put you in anyway."
Well, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I didn't. I knew how to like
Turn the record.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But
my
everything
scratch.
else, but I could carry everything.
Yeah.
Lights, record crates, drive. You know,
You should have been DJ Pack Mule.
So did you? What are you thinking? Oh my God. Okay. So what? Bow to Bow was the first one that dropped, right? Because he put out like a rap record, and then Kid Rock came and put out. What was it? Bow to Bow
Yeah,
was
it
the first
Bow to
single.
Bow. It was the first single.
And then
No, actually, Bogart came
Oh,
out
Bogart.
first.
I'm a Bogart. Yeah, Bogart.
And that tanked.
And then Bow to Bow came out, and all of a sudden the stars started to rise. Did you have any idea that this was going to explode? So
No.
he's like,
No. In fact, I was still mad that he put Cowboy on the record. Even still, it was like this. I just remember we were touring though. We were playing
was a
6,
hit.
7 nights a week.
Yeah.
Just to like 8 people in these clubs, like literally 6, 7 nights a week. They had us, and it was nonstop. And just every night, everybody was just wasted, and like there was a whole lot
Typical.
of what the fuck are we doing out here?
yeah.
Just nothing. But I don't know what you asked just now.
Well, he put. So when that started to take off, you were like, "Oh my God, my whole life is about to change." Because you guys are.
Did you
guys are hitting
freak
the road.
out?
But it had already changed because I didn't even like spending the night at people's houses.
Yeah,
and
you're
now all of a
couch
sudden we
surfing.
were just gone. Like Yeah, I
Now,
peed
wait.
on every hotel bed from Portland to Portland, just like.
Yeah.
So yeah, it had already changed. Like, and not in a sweet way either. It was horrific.
Yeah.
It was horrific.
But when you guys were touring, now was that when you that's when you were learning to DJ?
Mm-hmm.
Like you got out there and it was like you said you didn't DJ at all. Then you're like, oh, we're going on tour.
So when he had me start DJing in his band, I was probably about 16ish, and but when we started touring, I was probably 21, and I could DJ then.
Okay, you had a few years to work on it a little bit.
Yeah, yep. And so by the time we were touring and stuff,
When you knew like things were starting to change is like when you were starting to get like the major radio play, and on top of that, like MTV kept calling, and this is when we actually had a conversation. And I'll never forget this. I had no idea that you were a solo artist. I had no clue. I didn't know you could write songs. I didn't know you could sing. I was like, oh, it's Uncle Kracker's, or that's Kid Rock's DJ, Uncle Kracker. And I had no clue whatsoever. And I remember meeting you. Like we actually had a conversation where we were just like, this is pretty cool. It was almost like just a demo tape. It was a CD, I think, or something. And you handed it to me.
Would you listen to this? Get me out of here.
Dude, I
My
had
number's
imposter
on there,
syndrome.
bro.
I had imposter syndrome. I was like, there's no way that you gave it to me. I was with Britney Spears. She was hosting Britney Spears. She was hosting Saturday Night Live. It was Mother's Day weekend, and we were at the after party, and I'm like, holy cow. And we have actually, I'll show you later, we have a picture together from that time.
Oh, wow.
We're talking like frosted tips like no other, but did you, and when I went back and listened to it, I was like, holy shit, this guy is insane.
I wonder what it was.
So I like that you went back and
2001?
you didn't listen to it in the first place. He gave it to you and you just went back and listened to it?
No, I didn't go back and listen to it then, but I'm talking about like...
I'm saying
like
you
later.
just finally, he gave you a CD and you're like, oh wait, I think that guy gave me a CD
No,
at
but I
one
just
point.
remember I thought it was
Let me
pretty cool.
put
But
that
I was
in,
like, there's no way
see
I
what
was that good.
sounds
But I
like.
remember being at MTV and I was just like, I'm going to take a listen. But it was, damn, dude.
How many demos have you been given? Like both you guys. Like how many? Like
you know,
just people.
You know, you're anywhere. Well, it's changed now. You know, now it's a little different. Now they'll show you a barcode or something. Take a snap.
I was more of like...
Yeah, SoundCloud.
When I was a DJ, it was always tapes. Like remember when I was before MTV, I was just a radio DJ. So it's always like here's a
plus they don't need to they don't need to hand it out anymore. There's the internet.
Yeah.
You know, they just put it out there, and if it gets found, it gets found. You don't need those guys. Hey,
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
like how many CDs you got in your pocket?
My favorite was the headshots that came with it, the 8x10s. And there's always like, and especially if they were like rock DJ or rocksters or like even country guys, but they're always
Well,
not
probably
looking
when
at
you were on the
camera.
radio.
Yeah.
When you were on the radio, you got a lot. As artists, you know, we go to shows and it's like kids will throw a stuffed animal with a CD.
You must get them a lot too, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Even
Tons.
yeah,
Oh
now?
yeah. Tons. That's why when you brought it up, I was just thinking in my head, like, gosh, I've gotten a ton of these things.
Do you have a do you have
Wonder
a
how many
synth
you got?
somewhere? I had a collection for a while of just randos, and I'd pull them out and be like, "What was it? Oh, God, what was it? Oh."
Would you listen? Would you?
Yeah,
like,
all the time. I listen to everything, and there was I'm not gonna say they were all bad. There was a lot of good stuff in there, but
once in a while, yeah, there would be something on
Yeah.
there. Like I remember getting like tons of just garbage.
yeah,
right?
that's the hard part is getting through the stuff.
Yeah.
When you broke away from rock and the Twisted Brown Trucker Band, were you nervous? Like that was like, I'm going solo now. Uncle Kracker is going solo.
Oh, yeah.
Like your first hit was it Follow Me?
Yeah.
That was your first hit.
Yeah.
So can you take us back to that time? And who was your influence? And
So that was well, shoot, that was
Monta?
No, name drop.
Oh, the name dropped.
Name drop.
Okay, that's awesome. Right in the midst of everything.
Yeah, this is a high budget. This is a high budget set right here.
we are at John Bon Jovi Studios in Nashville,
This
Tennessee.
isn't John Bon Jovi Studios.
Yeah, we were talking about it before. He recorded.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
It's only halfway done.
lying.
Though.
Yeah,
it's only halfway
Yeah,
done.
apparently the signs aren't finished yet. Or the tape wore
Take us
off.
back to Follow Me. So you wrote that song.
Yeah.
Who produced it and like how did that all come about?
So I ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
Produced by Kid Rock.
Kid Rock produced that.
Just one, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
You can. There you go.
Yeah. It's really your discretion. Whatever you feel like. If you feel like just
It
diddling
looks like
down
he's just
there.
looking at his
It
penis.
just
like-
kind of looks weird when the camera's looking at you and you're over there like this.
No, I know, but I got like this OCD thing where I'm like, if it doesn't ring right, I'm like, I need
Oh
to
yeah.
do it again.
again.
You got to get the tone. You got to get the tone. I got a different tone.
See,
Mine's always on
Purposely.
key.
You have the other tone.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Rock produced it.
Rock produced it. Yeah, so the first album, Kid Rock produced it. We were on tour with him, and we recorded it in the back of the bus, like over the course of probably 9 months. I wrote and recorded this thing. Like, this was like he took my entire album budget and went on tour, like assembled like this Pro Tools rig. This is in 98, 99.
Yeah, you needed a lot of stuff. But thank God we weren't on reel to reel anymore at that point, right? You had the lunch boxes, probably.
Well, but aren't you glad you did that? How many millions of albums have you sold from that?
Just a couple.
But
thank God though, because I wouldn't have recouped anything had we not sold anything off that. I'd have been sitting there like still DJing for me.
When did you know that this was it for you?
I don't know. I think do you remember like the SoundScan days and stuff? I remember sitting around going, "Wow, man, 80,000, 90,000." 101,000 like every week.
You went gold. You're like,
was it
oh my God.
Tuesdays? I think was it Tuesdays?
Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just remember every week like just waiting for it. You know, sometimes you get the call the night before, so like it's gonna be 101.
But we can't even put you in a category because to me you're hip hop. To me you're pop. To me you're rock and country.
Well, that
it's
was
the weirdest
like,
thing. Like,
well, it's
where did
kind
they
of
put
ahead
you?
of
How
its
did you know where
time.
to go?
It's like
DJ
Post Malone.
thing.
You know, it's like Post Malone, but back then it's like really generational. That
just being the DJing thing helped tremendously. Just loving all kinds of stuff. So sitting in the studio too, that was the other thing too. When I made a record, it was always in the studio that I would write instead of like having a demo and going to the studio and you know musicians show up to cut it there and record it. Everything was just written right there on the fly. So. Which nobody likes to do at the label at all because they want to know where everything's being spent and why. And so, but me when I went in the studio, it was just open the door, write, record. But then you're dicking with everything in the studio.
Yeah.
Just like, well, that would sound dope here. Yeah. That would sound dope there. So it did end up sounding like sometimes it'd be countryist, sometimes it'd be poppy, sometimes it'd be, but just having like, just knowing, just doing different, just utilizing everything in the room. And
so what was it, if it was on a bus, what was in the room? Like, was it like, were you on like an MPC? Were you just like bringing in instruments or?
A lot of sampling.
Yeah.
And then Twisted Brown Trucker guys just on and off. Everybody come in, somebody sit down and play something.
Yeah.
Do you play with those guys still? Do you ever see any of those guys?
I see them. I see some of them. Haven't played with any of them in a long time. The guitar player was one of my best friends, and he's back in Detroit still.
A lot of them back in Detroit.
Mm-hmm. I think all of them. Really.
One of the God, I love that guy too. I remember when I was a DJ at K-Rock in New York. We were at the Irving Plaza. You guys are playing, and Kane and I was on with this DJ Kane at K-Rock, and we're getting ready to have you guys on, and you guys are just backstage or whatever, and this little kid is just walking around with a 40 ounce. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. And I'm like, dude, you can't drink. He goes, fuck you, man. And I was like, I go, how old are you? And he's like, I'm 22 or something like that, or 21 or whatever he was. And I was like, what? And he's just like, yeah. And then he was like trying to tell me about like himself. He was like the coolest kid. And I was like, he's like, yeah, I'm with Kid Rock. And I'm like, and the whole entire time he just didn't leave our side. Then he went on stage. I was like, this guy's look for real. Like
Joey was
when
dope.
he passed away, like.
Joey was so dope. I remember living I remember the first time we brought him out. We had like a show in Chicago, and remember going through town. Remember going through towns, and the first thing you do is like hit the mall. Just to buy something or whatever.
Pick up chicks.
Music store to pick up CDs, whatever.
Yeah, get out of the hotel room.
Yeah.
We're in Chicago, and we go to this mall like outside of the city, and Joe C's with us, and he looked like he's 7, 8, right? Like he literally did. I think everything quit growing at like 7 or 8. He stopped.
Right. And he has a truck driver's mouth.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, he was incredible in that. We're walking around this mall, and this older lady like stops like right in front of him, like bends down and like grabs his cheeks, and you could tell like she was like his cheeks, man. She's down. She's like, "Oh my goodness, this is the cutest thing." And he was like, "Get the fuck off me!"
He does. He looks like a little kid.
I want to.
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
to. He wish you could have took a picture of that lady's face.
She looked like the devil. Showed up.
Yeah.
She was just like mortified.
Or she probably looked at you like you guys are horrible.
you guys are
parents.
yeah, we couldn't
Bad
look.
parents.
Yeah, we just looked like complete douchebags. It's like
What'd she say?
she had nothing to say. She was speechless. Like the look on her face was like, and everything. It felt like the world stopped at that minute because that's how it was funny.
Was he with you guys when he passed away, or I know you got sick?
Well, we were in between records, and he was always sick.
Yeah.
But we just didn't really. But he dealt with it, I guess. You know, he'd plug into a machine 12 hours out every day. Joey had celiacs, but he had like a really rare form of celiacs, apparently.
It was kind of like Gary Coleman, right? Wasn't this something similar? Shout out Gary Coleman, R.I.P.
Just seen one of these documentaries on him. I don't know if it was newer.
Yeah, there's a new one.
Something on Netflix
New
or
one
something,
coming out
or-
right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cat, right?
Yeah,
Or
I was on
Hulu.
Big Brother with Todd Bridges. And we
Peacock.
talked about that a lot. And we had Gary on one of our music videos.
Really?
Yeah,
Which
we did
one?
we did a Christmas video. The Christmas song that we have that
Merry
like
Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Merry
Oh,
Christmas
yeah.
and
Women of
Happy
certain-
Holidays.
Certain age.
Women of a certain age. Yeah, they were looking for an elf. They were like, man, we need somebody as an elf, and they're talking about all these actors and stuff. I'm like, Gary Coleman. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, that's good.
No.
I was like,
What you
"That's
talking
good."
about?
I was like, that's good. I was like, yeah, let's get Gary Coleman. So we got Gary Coleman.
Could you imagine like being Gary Coleman, like
No.
your whole life being an I was gonna say being an elf your whole life,
Yeah.
but being an actor,
Well, there was also-
waiting on like
Yeah,
the call.
yeah.
I was like, oh, we got a call. They want you to play an elf. And you're like,
yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
elf again. Like,
I mean,
every
in our
time.
defense,
Like, can you
though, this
imagine?
was like, I think he was a security guard at the time.
Yeah.
And we got him a good gig. Like, it was a good.
Yeah. Well, you're the hottest band at that time.
I mean, you maybe not far off, but I'm one that now I'm living those gig days of, hey, what do you need? Oh, you want me to play the old songs again? Oh, you want me to do the boy band stuff again? You want me to do the 90s, 2000s stuff? Play those gigs, I'm sure.
Oh my
with
goodness.
him.
I played whatever. I played
Yeah.
bar
At
mitzvah.
least you have that. I have to bring my 8x10 around and be like, remember this guy from Frosted Tips? I had Frosted Tips.
Do you DJ a lot still? I mean, do you
No.
go out and
No, I don't-
have you thought about it?
No,
I'm sure people would.
I
That'd be
never
a good
did the
gig.
DJ gig though. No, so even back then, like
were faking it.
as the Kid Rock DJ, like they would always try to get me to DJ something. And I just never did them because I didn't want to be the DJ.
Yeah.
I didn't want to put that out there like that's what I was doing because of the.
When did you
I
know?
just never shook it, so I didn't want to fuel it either. So I never
God, you
DJ'd
can make
it.
so much money doing that right now, though.
When did you know that you could write songs? Was it after the first hit?
When I was like, no. I had my first record deal when I was like 15. When that was probably like 13 or so.
13,
I was
yeah.
making songs.
How high were you when you wrote Smile?
I wasn't high at all.
I just wanted you to smile.
No, I wasn't high at all.
Oh no.
Random.
I love that song.
If I was higher than Hitler's gas bill. If I had.
We just name
Shout out to
Did you just name drop?
What are some all right? So name drop. We basically like to drop names. Obviously, you can see the fun in that. What are some fun stories you have? First of all, I heard something about Jackie Chan. Do we have that story in our banks, or how's that
I
one
just
go?
remember
Because
there being.
You said you went to SNL with Jackie Chan.
Yeah,
Well, how many of the shows did you go to? You probably went to a bunch, right?
A couple of them.
Yeah.
But, well, like the after parties.
Yeah, the
from
after parties.
cinema.
Yeah.
But there was just, I just remember one in specific where we played it. We played playing Saturday Night Live, and then the after party afterward. But Jackie Chan, I think, was the actor. Yeah. On the show that night. So the after party, Jackie Chan was there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember like coming back. Well, I think you had to go through the NBC hallways or
Yeah.
something. NBC.
NBC.
Don't you think it's going to be so much bigger than it actually is? I mean, when you guys played there, I actually went to NSYNC's SNL show and then the after party. But when you guys played, like,
What do you
were
mean?
on that stage, when you guys performed on SNL.
But what do you? Oh, you mean the studios?
The studios are so much smaller. Like I always like
yeah.
thinking this is going to be so big.
Oh yeah, and then
Yeah.
you get there and like they're filming it in
Yeah.
like this room.
Yeah.
And you're like,
yeah.
yeah. I always pictured it being. But that was everything though. Like growing up and watching TV and seeing things, and then like
Sesame Street.
I never been
Sesame Street. We were on Sesame Street, and I will tell. Sorry.
Shout out Sesame.
And I will
who
tell
were
you
with Elmo?
We did a song with Elmo, yeah. But that was the craziest experience because it's almost like, when you're a kid, have you ever lived somewhere? Like, I moved around a lot. I lived in trailer parks growing up, so I lived all over the world, right?
So you can just take it with you.
Yeah, so we just took our house with us, hit the wheels, put the wheels back on, whatever.
He just bought a trailer too.
But I've gone back to places that I hadn't been since I was little, and it's so weird because it's so small. Because when you're a kid, you're thinking, look how big this is, because you're only this big, right?
Yeah.
But you go back and you're like, oh my God, look how big this is. You go back and you're like, this was what it was? I remember it being so big. Sesame Street was so tiny and compact.
They had that
and
PBS budget.
And I looked over at one point and I saw Grover, name drop Grover, first on the show, on a peg, right? Like they had a bunch of the puppets just on a peg.
Oh, man.
And I'm looking at him, I'm
real?
like, is that a wad of gum in Grover?
What was it?
It's like,
In his mouth or something?
no, on his fur. It was just like sitting there on this thing. But there's got to be some fun places. Like, have there been any things that you got to do that you were like, man, this is a moment, or this is
I've been thinking like all the people that you've met, not even just back in the Kid Rock days to when you had your first hit, but like I think like Run DMC. I mean, think about this. Some of these people that you've actually met along the way. Some of your
Oh, yeah.
who was the one person that you met? You were like, oh my God, I can't believe I met that dude.
Well,
Like
it
your
would
idol?
probably be Run. I bet from Run
Yeah.
DMC. That was probably my biggest, like the one person I ever would have ever wanted to meet. Just being little, listening to Run DMC. And he
Detroit?
was
Are
like,
you a Detroit sports fan?
yeah.
So are there any athletes or anybody from up there?
Oh, I mean, yeah. Growing up, watching like the '84 Tigers.
Yeah.
Oh
when they
yeah,
won.
they won the World Series. Yeah.
But like Kirk Gibson and Dave
Yeah.
Roseman and all them cats, like that was like for us, that was the dream team,
Yeah.
And then growing up and being able to like hang out with Kirk Gibson and those
Yeah.
kind of cats was always a dream.
Who was
Run
their
was dope.
manager for the Tigers at that time?
Sparky
Anderson. Yeah.
he
You
was
gotta
the
get
jam.
that right there. But Rev Run, did you like when I fangirl people like Chris? I always go up and give him a big hug. Did you guys dab or?
I mean,
Did I say that right? Pound and dab.
did you guys dab?
Yeah.
Did he? Well,
Did you high five? Low five
no, I
on
mean,
the side.
well, it was like at the time though when I did meet him, it was when I was DJing for Kid Rock and we were doing something with them, like a collab for MTV or something like that, like
Yeah.
for the awards thing
Yeah.
or the movie. So when we met him then, it was like him and Bob had like this bromance for a minute. So he was always there. Like all of a
Yeah.
sudden he was there every day,
Yeah.
Remember they did that? You guys
That
did the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Oh yeah, he came out. That's
yeah,
right. 'Cause we
yeah.
were on tour with Biscuit.
Yep.
And Fred
Biscuit.
wouldn't let nobody. Yep, that's right. They wouldn't let us sound check. We needed like
Wait, Fred wouldn't let you guys sound check?
just-
What?
No. Like
That ego?
it was just it was just some asshole shit. We were opening for Limp Bizkit and you could tell like Bob was selling half the tickets anyway but we were still had like 6 inches
You know
of
what's crazy?
stage as an opener.
Yeah.
And we get to Hammerstein Ballroom and he had Run coming out as a special guest and just wanted like 4 minutes to sound check so that they could go over this one song, and they just wouldn't let him.
Didn't those two become good buddies? Because when I was DJing at K Rock, I felt like I introduced Kid Rock and Fred to Howard Stern, and we all went to the booby bars. Went to this place called VIPs. Yes, and
Is that code for scores or something?
No, it wasn't scores. No, it was VIPs. We didn't go because I had a DJ. We were doing 6 to 10 with Kane, and then I did the overnight to make extra money as altar boy.
You couldn't afford scores? That's what you're saying.
Place was.
So yeah, so I got in so much trouble. So I had Bob and Fred come back to the studios, and then they invited strippers back. I got in so much trouble for this, and we were like begging the strippers not to stick around because Howard Stern was coming on next, and they of course waited in the lobby. And then Gary Del Bonte calls me up and he goes, "Hey man, we got these strippers here. They said they've been with you all night," and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And I started to tell them the story that I had Fred and Kid Rock with me. And they're like, "Oh, we want to call them." And Fred, so Howard calls up Kid Rock and Fred, and they were trying to get these strippers to go back to the hotel room, and the entire time, so Fred and Kid Rock went back to Howard Stern, and they were on the show. We had been up all night. I was dating someone at the time. I got so much
What were
trouble.
you guys doing up all night?
We were just, I was DJing, you know?
That DJ life. That DJ life.
Yeah.
You said VIPs. I didn't even know there was anything other than scores.
No, there was VIPs. They brought strippers from VIPs. I remember that story so well. Yeah, so Kid Rock Fred was a dick to Kid Rock.
So this was the big sound check thing with Run coming out to do something at Hammerstein Ballroom.
Yeah, or Hammerstein Ballroom.
I never get it right.
Hammerstein. God, I can't remember.
Yeah, I never get it right. But
But he wouldn't let him come out.
No, wouldn't let him come
wouldn't
out.
let you sound check.
Wouldn't let you
sound
just
check.
to go over, just to do a quick rehearse,
Yeah.
something really fast. But it was like, no, we got to clear the stage. I'm trying to think of anybody that was like bigger than life. I don't think anybody was bigger than Run to me.
Oh, right.
You know, growing
Right.
up. The 84 Tigers.
Yeah.
And you asked about the Detroit.
What about now? You
sports
live in
fans.
Nashville. You live like right down the street from here. In 12 South. Are you in 12 South or Belmont?
I wouldn't talk about where he lives in Nashville, bro.
Yeah, but the Nashville's big. I mean,
Not when you're like narrowing it down.
Oh, yeah, what's your address?
What's the address?
Just look at the
21 Jump Street.
But how do you like it? Like, how long have you been here?
A little over a year-ish, I think. I like it. A lot of action here.
Yeah, there is, right?
But every time you're like doing something that's close to home, you're like, oh, I live right behind there. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like all time goes out the window, you know.
Yep.
So I usually end up late and living right behind it. You're like, oh, it's right there.
You think about getting your own bar?
Never. No.
Can you imagine that, Uncle Krackers?
I owned a bar in Detroit and it was just a nightmare.
What'd you call it?
It was Mugshots.
Mugshots?
Mugshots, like the one in New York?
Yep.
No kidding.
What,
Did
the
you ever
theme
go
was
to the one
Mugshots?
in New York? Is that what,
No, but I remember seeing the logos and stuff.
Yeah, we used to party in that one all the time.
I'd never been,
Yeah.
but mine was like a little corner shithole bar.
Yeah. Those are the best bars, though.
Yeah,
I
you
mean, if
love
we
those
could, we
bars,
could be
yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
I love small, dirty little bars more than I love like the big, kind of corporate-y bars. Like,
Oh yeah,
He's got a bar.
you got a bar?
yeah,
Here?
with these guys here.
Yeah, John Bon Jovi.
Jovi's.
Yeah.
Oh, all
Have you
right.
been down
Right
there
next to
yet?
Kid
Haven't
Rock's,
been there
kind
yet.
of.
Yeah, same
Nope.
setup as Rocks. It's
Okay.
got like you walk in, the stage is up behind you on the. Rocks
Broadway
is
up
awesome,
and down
man.
there. I love all that. I love day drinking.
Yeah, me too.
Up and down.
Do you think it's our
Broadway,
age?
a mess.
It's the age.
It's got to be the age thing.
It's
You know
the
what, like,
age.
I see the street lights go on, I want to go to sleep.
I mean, I don't know. It's just something about it.
Yeah,
Day drinking.
yeah.
But I don't think. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, being this old now, going out like at night. Remember, there was a time you didn't leave the house till after 10:30.
Yeah.
You know, like, you're just like
you get
Oh, you
in
didn't
at
go to the
6,
clubs.
7 o'clock in the morning.
In New York,
Yeah.
you wouldn't go to dinner until 11.
Yep.
You go to dinner, and then you're
now
1
it's
o'clock.
like
It's a
now
little
it's
early.
like you see the
to
kids
club.
coming out and you're like, oh, this has got to be past my bedtime.
Absolutely.
I know this crew; they're dressed up.
What are you doing now? What's take us to what you're up to right now?
I just finished this 5-month tour with Chesney, which was dope.
That stadium tour is insane.
Man, yeah.
With Megan Maroney. Shout out
Megan
to-
Maroney, yep. Zach Brown.
Is it fun watching people come up and just see them explode?
Yeah, it is always fun because there's like a certain amount of. It is. There's just the energy and just watching and seeing. It's fun to see it, just because just being excited for that person or that individual, and but you also get to watch like what they're doing as they're doing it, and you're like, oh, don't do that, and you're like, oh, you should have did that, but it is fun.
What's the
It's fun.
difference now in back then touring?
Sleep?
Yeah, sleep. Yeah, I got this weird like relationship with sleep now that I'm
Yeah.
50. Like,
Where have you been all my life?
The tours are much
no,
different,
it's
though, right?
opposite. I used to be able to sleep like a champ. Now
Really?
it's like I just don't. Like I'm up.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm the opposite. I never slept. Back in the day,
man.
I think from 96 to about 2005, I don't think I
Just a little bit of sleep?
ever even fell asleep once. And now it's like, am I awake right now? I don't. My wife goes to bed at like 8 or 9 o'clock, so I'm downstairs for like a couple hours sitting there going, what's wrong with me? Should I be going to bed now? Like, I can't sleep.
You gotta go
You have to
upstairs?
force.
I'll just sleep on the couch.
You have kids? You don't have kids, right?
Got kids.
You have kids?
Yep.
How many?
So I have 5. I have 5. Yep.
What are
No,
the ages?
I got everywhere from 25 down to 4.
4.
Yeah. So I had 3 daughters with an ex-wife and remarried and have 2 boys that are 8 and 4. So I have.
And they're here?
Well, so one just graduated. The other one's in college. The other one just had a baby a year ago. She's back in Detroit. The youngest
wait, your
one that
grandpa?
goes back and forth from here to college. She goes to U of M, so she'll come down here for weekends and then fly
But the
back
boys
up.
are here.
The boys are here. Yep.
Boys are here,
Yep.
right.
Boys are here. Go to school here. They love it.
They love it. Yeah, I was gonna say it's a hard town. My kid was born here, and
You live here?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he'll be 7 on Thursday, but he was born here, and he knows that my wife and I are from Orlando, or we're in Orlando, and he's like, and you moved here? Because he sees Disney and SeaWorld
How
and
could
all
you-
that
how
Put
could
stuff.
we
things in
leave
perspective.
Disneyland,
My son
right?
is 23,
Yeah.
so yeah, we're.
But you
getting
do a
up there.
lot of like the zoo. You go to the zoo and the science center and
Those are like the two like
Yeah.
those are the two like you can always like throw them in the car and like
Yep.
just burn some energy with those 2 things.
there's
alone.
a couple spots I'll
Well, the
let you know
iPad's a
too.
babysitter now too. We didn't have those when Dan was growing up.
What?
The iPad? You just give him an iPad.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a babysitter.
Yeah.
The
I didn't have a lot of things when we were growing up.
my wife tries to monitor the iPad stuff. Like, she's
Oh,
like,
really?
Yo, yeah. Well, and then she'll like swap them out for like screen time.
What's your
Like,
wife's first name?
Jenna. Yeah, shout out
Do you-
Jenna.
can you- do you
I
remember
thought you were
the
going to say
kids'
she'll swap them out for like a vanilla ice cream cone.
names? Uncle Cracker's.
My kid would be like, all right.
I'll do it.
Uncle Cracker's kids' names are.
Skylar, Madison, Troy, Miles, Ford.
Ford. That's a great name.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough name.
Ford. That was I chopped my middle name. We were going to give him Linford, which was my middle name.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the heart to give him that.
I thought it was you're just paying homage to
Hey,
Detroit.
he'd be a
No.
tough kid through junior high, that's
Oh
for sure.
man. Yep, I remember going through school. Like anytime they asked you your name and you had to say your middle name too, it'd always be like, You just like
I
give it
feel
a
that
little
way about
rumble.
mine too. Michael.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you only got the 1 7-year-old?
Yeah.
You got one,
23. Yeah.
just the 123.
Yeah, I think so.
Just one and
Just
done.
one.
Yeah.
One.
Well,
Man.
we tried.
Okay.
We tried. He broke up with his.
Well, I didn't know I was going to be a dad for because we met and then I was like, all right, I'll see you later. And
You
then
didn't buy the white
she-
picket fence and settle down and then have kids.
I got the phone call.
You
and
got
I was
the
at the
phone
gym
call.
in New York. I was on TRL and I was like, oh shit, I think I'm going to lose my job. I didn't know.
Because she
Well,
was
do you
pregnant?
you signed on like a morality clause? I was supposed to be like heartthrobs or not heartthrobs, but like teen idols or
Wait,
something.
what?
I didn't know what
You had
could
to
happen.
sign a
I remember when
morality?
MTV
Wow.
called, they were like, hey, we got a call from Page 6 at the New York Post. They're going to run an article about you impregnating a model, and I'm like, oh my god.
so you
and they're
heard
like,
that way, and
that's
that
how I
didn't even
heard.
hear- wow.
So then they're like, and I'm like, what? And I already knew that I was going to be a dad, but I didn't know it was already out. And they said, we just want to let you know we support you 100%. And I'm like, thank you so much. I was so scared. I was like, I'm going to lose my job. And yeah.
Was that their way of saying like we're not going to fire you
Yeah.
right now?
Yeah.
We will, but
We wouldn't wait until after Dane's born.
Yes. We're not gonna yank the roof out
Yeah,
from over your head.
that was
Just- yeah.
that's an actual true story.
Wow.
Yeah. So no, I didn't get fired. So I
Ours
stayed
were
on.
on purpose, right? Yours was on purpose.
I
and then
mean,
you settled down. You're like,
wasn't doing
Wait,
anything
mine
to
was
like.
Mine
I mean,
wasn't
yours was on
purpose.
purpose, but
Was-
not on purpose.
So you're saying my son's a mistake? Wow.
I said it maybe an accident. I didn't say mistake.
Oh,
You said
Dane,
mistake.
if you're watching, baby, you weren't a mistake.
I said accident.
What?
You said
None of
mistake.
mine were planned. though.
23.
Like, they
Oh,
were-
we
Yeah.
didn't plan it. I was like, hey, this is so
Oh,
much
none
fun.
of
Let's
them were
make a
planned?
baby.
No one planned.
Yeah.
No.
No.
It just it wasn't doing anything to stop it.
Right.
You got 5 kids.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a hamster. Like when somebody asks you how many kids you have, it's hard to say. Like I have 6 of them, 5.
You're like wrangling them up in a room. One's in a ball crawling.
How big's your hamster cage?
It's pretty big.
Is it big cage? Enough room for more?
Yeah.
You
which
gonna have
cage?
more?
No.
How do the little
Maybe.
boys feel about like what you do? Are they like
The boys are just now like
figuring it out?
Yeah, because the boys are. Well, that's what it is. Miles is in second grade, so now he'll start hearing my songs, and he starts connecting the dots about a year and a half or two ago, and then you'll get his grandma will start feeding him shit in his head that's your dad,
Yeah.
and you're but they just figured it out, and I guess they never really put it together. I still tour, I still do 100 and something shows probably a year or whatever, and but and have continuously, but I guess they never really put it together where I was going or what.
Yeah.
It's because we never.
One of the coolest moments is we went to a Super Bowl party a couple years ago with Chris and friends.
Where you
and
passed out?
And his kid, I passed out. I didn't even make first.
And then we put him in an Uber. We put him in an Uber at
Before
halftime, and he looked
halftime.
at me and said, "Hey,
coming?
you're coming, right?" And I'm like, "No,
This-
it's halftime,
that wasn't the story I was going. That,
sorry.
that actually happened.
Sorry.
Your wife gave me too many Jello shots. But his son, we're in this I don't know, was it limo van or whatever, and they had karaoke in there. And his son's singing "Bye Bye Bye." I was one of the coolest moments, and I'm just watching Chris behind me. I got it on video. They're kind of all going back and forth. I'm like, this is the coolest thing. His son actually knows word for word
Hey,
all the songs.
Well, also to give you a little plug too with the Kid Rock stuff. I had the neighbor kids the other day, and they were all in the car with me, and I put on Ball with the Ball. And
About to buy
yesterday, our friends that came over, they were like, "Dude, we got to thank you. Our kids have been requesting, all that kind of music, Kid Rock, all that stuff since then." They won't stop playing it, which is so strange because, especially so you had 3 older girls, and with the 3 boys, when you talk to people, it's so funny because being a dad, there's 2 kinds of dads. There's girl dads and there's boy dads, and then there's also boy and girl dads. But a lot of times you get one or the other. And being those type of dads, it's just got to be so cool when your kid is listening to what you do, and they start going. Have you ever found them really going, asking you, getting personal with some of the stuff? Hey, when you were like this, did you ever?
Yeah. Yep. And it was, but just recently, Miles will start giving me the questions how old were you when you started writing songs? And you said you and Uncle Bobby wrote Cowboy. How old were you when you wrote Cowboy?
Yeah.
And what did you mean by, and he'll quote something in it. Which then you start regretting everything you did, some of those.
You can't do that.
Which is weird too, because
can't
your
do that.
music is so family friendly. You could go. You especially from where you came up in Detroit to where you're at now, and hitting the road with Kenny Chesney. They're not gonna. It's not like you're going out with Kid Rock and.
But so often I
Twisted
get
Brown
hit
Trucker
with the
Band.
that it's not family friendly. Just being associated
Yeah.
with the Kid Rock thing, and they automatically think that I'm
just hard partying,
Yes.
stripper chaser.
Yep.
Well, but and there's nothing wrong with it.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Just saying.
You gotta feed the kids.
Nothing wrong with chasing strippers.
No,
No, that's what I
there's
was
that.
saying.
It's totally
kind of
wrong.
where I was going with that.
Yeah, but so you go to church every Sunday.
Of course.
Yeah, that's so you can chase strippers on Saturday.
Saturday, yeah. And then on Sunday you repent. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
No.
Yeah, I wipes the slate clean. Everything's just
You're Catholic?
I am.
Are you recording now? Are you doing new stuff?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Always
Oh,
recording.
we finish?
Say that again.
Are you recording and finished, or are you going to be putting on that new
Never
album?
finished.
Just put out a record about
Never
a month and a
finished.
half ago or so.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But I don't know.
Does being in Nashville help that process, you think?
I thought it was gonna. Well, it's helped me just because I was sitting in Detroit not doing anything. But now being here, everything's so close. Just go to the studio.
Like you said, there's a lot of movement. There's always somebody coming through, somebody looking for something.
Anybody you want to record with?
No.
Wait, I'm giving a thing to nobody.
No.
The first
A
nobody.
long time ago,
You don't wanna share.
When I did the Drift Away
Yeah.
cover, had Joby Gray come in and do it with, because it was his song.
Yeah.
And he was a doll. He was actually it was a dream to work with. there were a few things that just made it difficult, and that was, trying to work around somebody else's schedule.
Yeah.
So anytime like you do something with somebody and try to do something, you're always on their, So when you're trying to do something and make it happen fast, you can't. 'Cause you got to wait for, just working or collaborating with somebody else. It's always a drag. Like that takes the steam out of the wind out of your sails.
Have you ever wanted to record with a former MTV VJ and that used to host TRL and
I'm pretty sure no.
the founder of one of the most famous boy bands in the history of ever, NSYNC?
Hey, first of all, don't throw me into that one. Like you were treading water on your own right there. That's not fair.
Because we're about to record a song together. The three of us right now.
No, it's just
a quick. It's a quick, like it's our theme song. It's name drop. Wait, hang on, I
don't think that's really a theme song. I think it's the jingle.
And it's one of the most
just
important.
Right, but it's not a theme song.
I love the old school jingles. Like, is there anybody done anything?
No, I talked about. I was like, I should write a jingle or an old school theme song for the show.
Yeah, that'd be fresh. I just wonder if there's has anybody like. I wonder if there's a documentary on like all the old jingles and stuff.
I'm sure.
That'd be
we should write that.
The kids sing along with this one. It's
what we should do? We should do a name drop one and then have all the guests that came on. We'll have Rome, we'll have you, we'll have Colby, we'll have Low Cash, we'll have everybody come and do a little snippet, like a little verse on it. Put their put your little edge on it. Just put like
I think, because I can't sing.
What is that?
It's a pitch pipe.
It's pitch pipe.
What'd you think it was? A harmonica?
I don't
know, but first of all, hold on. First of all, this is a new pitch pipe. This is a new pitch pipe your dad gave you.
Yeah, Pops gave me
because
this.
it didn't have the hole on it, which is very bad for you because now you just keep picking it up and blowing into a different hole.
See, right there. All
right, we'll figure out the. There we go.
Oh,
name drop. That's what we're gonna sing. So that's all we do. We go 1, 2, 3. Name drop. That's it. Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Name drop. Yeah. He drowned you out, so it sounded good.
Oh, what? Dude, man, I can't thank you enough for coming on. It's been the last time we saw each other actually was in Omaha, Nebraska. You're performing there. This must have been maybe 10 years ago. Wow. And we were at a bar.
Oh, wow.
And you're like...
It sounds like you and I.
Yeah. We were at a bar, and we just happened to run into each other. This is my hometown.
Oh, I was just going to say, what
were you doing in Omaha?
I think you had a grill then, too.
I might have.
Yeah, you had a grill. It had been 10, 15. I don't remember. But, yeah. It's good to see you again, man.
Good to see you, too. Are you in Nashville now?
Yeah. Well, I'm Denver and come back here.
He's not in Nashville.
Yeah.
No.
He's in an Airbnb.
Yeah.
He
I love
comes
you,
back.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, too,
dude.
bro.
Oh, God,
You're
good
the
to
best,
see you.
man.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Name drop.